Hi everyone, this is Bhavani from nurture5. Namaste. Today's guest is Mamata, one of my great friend. She lives in US, Atlanta, and she's Hi Mamata.
Hi, Bhavani. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since we have seen each other. It's nice. I've been meeting so many friends through my podcast. She has done chemical engineering from Georgia Tech, Carnegie Mellon University. She has been doing quality leadership, primarily medical devices, for the past 15 years. My association with her, we used to go for a lot of hikes and explore local food wherever we travel. She has traveled to all 7 continents. I have done only 5. When I talk about traveling, you remember, Mamata, that we have gone to Sand Dunes National Park, and
Oh, yeah.
we were enjoying the sand dunes and the great white sands in New Jersey. Then suddenly we realized one snake was moving and she was shouting like hell, "Keep quiet, it's okay."
You said it in a much, calmer and quieter tone. Yeah, that was funny.
That's a very funny story. She is passionate about community service and has done many contribution to NGOs. All her weekends, mostly she used to volunteer in NGOs like Raksha, Big Brother, Big Sister, Special Olympics. Her areas of focus have been the young kids, mentoring, seniors, disadvantaged women, and people with disability. Let's welcome Mamata. Mamata, thanks for joining this podcast. I'm really honored to have you here.
And thank you for having me here, Bhavani.
Happy to see you. When I read about your Facebook, I was really shocked about the news about breast cancer. I thought it's like I was reading somebody else's story, not your story. I've never expressed this to you, but I read a couple of times just to make sure I'm reading the right story, whether it's your story or somebody else. Then I realized finally it's your story and I called you immediately. It was shocking for me to see the news, but it just happened and you have survived with the breast cancer. And I am proud of you, the way you have handled it and living here more joyful than ever.
Yeah, there's nothing else to be scared of, right?
What were your first symptoms, Mamata?
Yeah, interestingly, I found them myself, right? Uh, I was 25 pounds heavier and than what you see me now, and I was trying to lose weight. Ironically, I was trying to lose weight to prevent cancer because a few people in my network died of cancer, different types. And so then I was getting close to 50. So I said, no, I can't afford to have this much weight. It could be either cancer or diabetes. So I started to lose weight with diet and exercise. And then I happened to see a dimple on the breast one day. So I was shocked, couldn't believe. I tried to shrug it off, but it bothered me, so I checked online and it said either breast cancer or it could be just if you did too much of workout.
Just got a doubt about it and you thought maybe this could be something like breast cancer. So you just felt it.
Yeah, because the research was pretty clear. The dimple could be either breast cancer or it could be the tissue death. I mean, I had to search for it, but I found it. So once I found it, it was very numbing to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom is 77 years old and I came to Atlanta to take care of her and what's going on with me, so it was pretty scary, and I confided in my first cousin, and she's very good. She somehow, I think she reads my thoughts or my mind, even if it's long distance. My cousin kind of read my mind and she called me a few times, insisted I should go, saying that cancer, if it is cancer, then it can be aggressive for my age because I was 48 at that time. And, but I still told her when I'm ready to deal with it is when I'm ready. Right. So So I got the appointment with the doctor. They gave it 1.5 months later. I just went with it. Right. I didn't look to expedite the appointment. So I went 1.5 months later, and I didn't expect that it would take another 1 month for diagnosis, right? I thought they would rush me in, that they can tell the same thing that I'm seeing, and but for finding out whether I had cancer. So by the time I went to him, and then went for diagnostic mammogram, and then biopsy ultrasound, then finally I got the news. 1 month after my first visit to the OBGYN, I got the news that I had cancer, breast cancer, and that time they told me it was stage 1.
So even this 1 month also you are in a limbo whether it's a cancer or not. That is also
yes, yeah. I was pretty. I was nervous, but moved on. Right. What else? I mean, I was going through a lot of tests in between, right? So it felt like I was pretty busy. It's not like waiting for a month. So every week or a few weeks I had to go, and in America we have to deal with health insurance, and that also was something new for me to deal with, because they were asking me to pay $2,000, in a shot, and I was busy being shocked and outraged because they don't give you a bill ahead of time. They just tell you pay this amount, right?
People get panic, obviously, because it's something which is not normal.
Yeah, it's terrible, because I had just wrapped up a meeting with my boss, and talking about planning for my promotion, right, to quality director. So I just stepped out of his office, like thinking, oh, big plans, right, for my career, and came to my desk. As soon as I came to my desk, I got a phone call from my OBGYN, and she told me in a soft tone that I have cancer. I couldn't believe my ears. I really couldn't. But I had to pay attention, because the instructions start right away. You have to go see a oncologist, you have to see a breast surgeon. It's like you can't just sit and relax, right? There are 2 doctors you have to immediately get appointments with, and so I felt very upset, and I left the work right away. I told my boss I have cancer, and I said I'm going home. So I went home right away, told my mom, and I told her, please don't cry. Otherwise I cannot hold it together.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So that's, I really didn't have time to even see what happened to my life because of the number of tasks that I felt I had to do. Like now I felt I was running out of time. I waited that 1.5 months, and now I'm like scrambling. Yeah. So that was my reaction, really. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get ready now for the real journey. So
that bent of mind is helped you, maybe instead of getting panicking and doing nothing and keep worrying and keep talking to many people. That's what generally people do. Instead of that, just how to face it, just face it and then go ahead with any kind of a treatment.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I have a network of doctors, right? So this family friend of mine, she got involved from minute one. Everyone started connecting me to their network of specialists. So what my family friend did, she worked with her family friend and got me changed to the appointment with the best breast surgeon. And the cancers are like, but for breast cancer, you have a team, right? So I had to decide which one to visit first, oncologist or breast surgeon. What are the other tests coming up? So it was pretty stressful, I would say. Finally got it figured out and started visiting.
What was the diagnosis? What did they talk about when you initially started conversation? 3 stages and which one to choose. And again, they talk about grades. All this they would have explained to you, right?
Yeah. They told me that good news, it's hormone positive, which is the most easily treatable, diagnosis.
Okay.
So my breast surgeon, he's so experienced, right? He told me, oh, you got A grade, because A grade meaning not a diagnosis. He's trying to make me feel good, right? He said, you have like one of the best diagnoses one can have for treatment, right? Stage 1 and hormone positive, and okay, you're in good shape, he said. But at the same time, in the same appointment, he's like, you have to decide whether you want to get mastectomy or lumpectomy. So yeah, that was like pretty, uh, what do you say? Oh gosh, that was a nightmare, I would say. June 10th is diagnosis. So for a whole month, I was like in agony. Like,
to choose.
yes, because they even suggested speaking to plastic surgeon to see whether I should get breast reconstruction. Everything felt very stressful, and they said radiation can shrink the breast even more. So that felt stressful too for me, knowing uh, is lumpectomy the right decision or something, So lumpectomy is what I chose, right? And I had to speak to quite a few in my friends network or family network to make that decision. I didn't see the need for mastectomy for myself. And then I also got the results back saying I don't need chemotherapy.
That's a big relief, not having chemotherapy.
Yes, yes. And I think I found that out after surgery. So yeah, but before surgery, it was do I have the BRCA gene or not, and that helps me decide whether mastectomy or lumpectomy. So I was very relieved when I got no BRCA gene.
Even deciding factor is really stressful because we don't know all these terms also. At the same time, we have to find out what are our symptoms, what is our body talking about, then decide which one to think about and deciding. Not only right away going for the treatment instead of that, thinking about it and deciding which one. They give you the options and deciding is a big deal.
Yeah.
So how is the preparation for surgery?
The preparation for surgery, I got one of my cousins, I remember, I still quote her, right? She said, focus on eating a lot of protein, right? So this is the first time in my life preparing for surgery. It's a breast, for God's sake. So I thought, I have to eat very healthy. I wanted everything to recover so well, right? So apparently you have to eat a lot of protein. So that's what my cousin kept advising, and a few others also said the same thing. So I would say preparing for surgery was I did visit a nutritionist, have like greens and cucumber and lemon and flaxseed. So all the good ingredients. I drink that every day too, and
natural food.
So nutritionist was free, and she told me about overnight oats. So my recipe for success was preparing for nutrition, which was having oatmeal, having avocado, things that, avocado, oatmeal, I never used to care for, but those are the things that I did add to my diet. That was my recipe for success, right? So, the good thing about cancer treatment in America, which is different from an experience of going for some other, health condition, they actually assign you a navigator, a patient navigator. And this person is the one that compiles all the information and gives you all kinds of a wealth of knowledge, right? So she was the one that kept me calm through all of this. Because the doctors don't tell you much, and even though they're good doctors, but in between you have so many worries. And so the patient navigator is the one. The more information I get, the calmer I get, right? And she asked me to go to a nutritionist, and nutritionist is free. All this is from donations from people, right? For cancer foundations and all, and I benefited from it. I'm very grateful for that, right? So that was the biggest preparation I had.
People around actually to help you, at least they have gone through it, or some doctors which can advise you, so that makes it maybe a little bit calmer and more helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
No, some people will want to read on internet, but I had enough of a network, and I'm the type, my personality is the type, I don't believe in hiding things, so I think that came to my benefit. I let everyone into my life, right? So I kept the doors open, and the information flowed into me, and I benefited greatly from that. Right? My cousin, my oldest first cousin, he used to send me articles, and I used to read them. like preparing, right, for my cancer and all of that. He sent me a lot of articles, and that kept me very calm. You know, all of this very good advice.
Did you started working?
Oh yeah. So I went for my lumpectomy, right? So 1 week was painful, right, with the breast and all. Had a band-aid and everything, and so that 1 week I took off, and then I wanted to attend some meeting, some very important meeting. I went into work, for 2 hours, and I was in a lot of pain. That is after 1 week. Just every movement was very painful for me, because what happens is even your nerves are like really extra sensitive,
Yes.
So it was very painful. Then I said, that's it, I'll be at home for a few more days. I think it was a total 1 week, maybe after 4 days I went, to the meeting. And then I said, okay, 2-3 more days. And afterwards I felt completely fine, I was like walking around happily, it wasn't a big deal, then I had to wait for another 1 month after surgery, to prepare for radiation. But in between, I did get actually, even though physically I felt fine after 1 week, but I did go through a scare because my doctor called me, right, the day after surgery, just when I was starting to, relax and laugh. He called me and told me the cancer went to your lymph nodes, and it's a borderline decision, and I need to put some thought into whether I should remove all your lymph nodes, right? And so I had to wait like half a week to find out his verdict. That was very stressful to me. And I went, and I don't know, he spoke for like 40 minutes before he told me his decision. He decided not to remove them, because he felt that if they adjust the radiation, that should take care of, the stuff that went into the lymph nodes, So, yeah, it was very scary, the first week after surgery that way, waiting for his verdict. So, yeah, to this day, I do still have that at the back of my mind. Okay, some of it went into the lymph nodes, and, okay, they're removed, but still, who knows what escaped still. But then I'm like, whatever happens will happen.
Keep it positive, because positive, the placebo effect also works. A lot of research is going on the placebo effect. So if you think, then won't happen.
That's what I'm thinking too. The radiation should have taken care of it, and it's okay. I'll do as much as I can. If it happens, it happens. There's nothing one can do to stop something if it's meant to happen. So yeah, I decided not to worry about it.
Yeah, our subconscious mind might attract, even though it's not there. We might even attract. So we better not to think about it and be open about it.
Yeah, it's definitely there at the back of my mind somewhere, and it's just an awareness that my life can also be short, so it's at the back of my mind, not that I'm scared of it, but, I keep thinking life can be limited. So let me carry on with the pace to do what I want to accomplish in life, right? I may not have much time, or maybe I'll have a lot of time, I don't know that, but I'm assuming it will be a shorter lifespan. At least that's good for me to accelerate the pace of what I want to do.
Because a lot of research is going on in this, not only placebo effect, even healing part of it also, that body does get healed if you are more open, more positive in your life. Not that always you think happy feelings, but you just let it go and surrender it, then things will happen. So that happens. It is happening in people's mind. It's not like some kind of imagination or hallucination or anything like that. So backed up with the scientific research. So just be positive.
Yeah, I agree.
What was the radiation like?
Yeah, so the radiation, it can be described overall as a fatiguing process. It's 33 sessions, and it was scheduled on weekdays. That's how they do it. So we have a break on a weekend. So then the biggest thing I had to plan for was what is the best appointment time. I decided to take it in the afternoon because here I was working on a path to promotion. So I really didn't want to take time off. So because of that, I decided first half of the day you spend at work and then go for my appointment in the afternoon and come home and then, work again. Right. So radiation, the success to radiation would be, drink lots of water, right? And eat healthy food and then apply the creams that the doctor gives you, right? So that was what the focus was. So then over the 33 sessions, I would say probably the last 10 sessions is where it gets the most uncomfortable, right? Your skin is progressively burning. So it's all the way to here, like from here and then the breast area. So I couldn't have a proper shower, that many weeks. It was a pretty big area that was treated, all the way here and then here, right? So I had to be very careful. And also radiation, they say in the breast area when they're doing it, you have to hold your breath, right? And if not, you're gonna, because it happened in the left side, I could, injure my heart. The ribs also, they are very careful about, because if the radiation hits your ribs also, your ribs can get fractured, right? So sometimes I used to struggle to hold my breath, but I guess it was okay. They managed it fine. They would warn me, and then I would try to hold it better.
You did my pranayama session and breathing sessions. I have no clue. Otherwise, I would have really jumped into it and then taught you all this.
Yes, right? Seriously, oh my gosh. I'm like, seriously, I thought I was holding my breath, but I guess they said I wasn't, almost every session I got feedback, saying I wasn't holding it in, So, but they're very good. But progressively it got charred black, and I did get some deep burns where you see white, the white stuff. So it's beyond the upper layers at that point. The skin is now burned to the point of going away, and then you see the inside, right, of the flesh. So that's how bad it got. And then the doctor gave me a different cream for that to give me some relief, right? And so through all of that, progressively it was getting more uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And also just what is happening is also the nerves, right? Yes. Now they're getting extra sensitive. So that was really uncomfortable, feels like someone is putting electricity through you, the whole day. So I experienced that maybe for half the sessions, the second half of the sessions I experienced that. So, but meanwhile, eating healthy, it was difficult for me to do that. I was starting to feel very fatigued, after, again, the second half of the sessions of the 33, I was starting to feel very tired, so it was difficult for me to eat properly. I looked bloated. I looked very tired. It wasn't fun. And then after I was done, I heard about the side effects of tamoxifen that I would take. And, I sat for 2 weeks not taking it because I heard about all the side effects from that, whether uterine cancer or bone loss and, clots and BP and, so many things they said that could happen to you, with tamoxifen. So I remember speaking to some pharmacist friends and asking what really is the deal with tamoxifen. I was scared to take it. Then finally I took it and I was waiting, oh my gosh, what will happen to me? And it's been 2 years. Luckily, nothing has happened. My doctor has told me time and time again that I'm handling that drug very well. Okay. Yeah. So I'm very relieved, that I didn't get the symptoms that side effects that some other people got,
Every moment you have to be listening to your body.
Yeah.
into
Yeah. I mean,
emotions.
that's what they were saying, right? So for a year, I was very alert.
Your emotions and thoughts, and at the same time, physical body, everything we generally ignore, but here you cannot ignore.
Nope.
You
I'm
cannot afford to
constantly,
ignore during the treatment. Definitely, you have to be paying
or
attention.
after. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Oh, yeah. During the tamoxifen treatment. Yes.
Yeah.
And radiation was not over in the sense that October, my radiation was done. And 3 months later,
Mm.
I started having a lot of pain in the chest, breathing.
Mm.
So I got scared. And again, I did some internet research to see what happened,
Mm.
and they said sometimes it can happen, right? Your lungs can get affected a little bit,
Okay.
almost like a fever of the lungs, I guess you can describe it.
Mm.
So it used to hurt when I used to do workout.
Mm.
So then that went on for a few weeks.
You are working out also.
Oh, yeah, it's important. Yeah, definitely. I was doing workout,
Okay. Wow.
I mean, during breast surgery, after that, I mean, maybe walks, right? But 2 months after radiation, I was working out actively.
Okay.
I would say close to 1 year after surgery, there was a tightness in my armpit. And then the tightness went all the way to my wrist, and I got scared again. I thought maybe lymphedema or something. And so I went running to the doctor, and he sent me to a rehab therapist. And she told, they both explained to me, after surgery, your tissues, they try to rearrange themselves and they kind of get bunched up and tight, So then they taught me some stretching exercises, and I've been doing it for a year, but now not as regularly. But I've completed 2 years after the surgery, right? So I would say the first year I was the most careful, but now, yeah, I mean, I'm still monitoring that because up until maybe 2 months ago, I was feeling, the tightness now and then.
Okay.
And sometimes I would feel it in my ribs, and then I would get scared again. I'm like, is this the side effect of radiation? Oh gosh, is this rib got a fracture or something? So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, I would say.
It's a lot to go through because it's a completely new journey. It's not normal at all. A new
Yeah,
journey.
no one tells you. Yeah.
New journey and a lot of different symptoms and different complications and different organs you need to deal with it. It is not
Yeah.
just fever or a cough and cold. You will be dealing with only throat part of it, but it's a complete system is messed up. So we will be
Yeah.
handling.
And I was touched when my cousin gave me aloe vera, like freshly made aloe vera. She brought me a whole bunch of those. She frozen ones, and because for radiation, when you have like a big section of you charred and burned,
Natural treatment does work because now I'm experimenting. Yeah, I wanted to share my story. I'm experimenting on myself before I talk to people about the natural treatment. I got a deep cut when I was just visiting a farm. So everybody was like, it was iron, you need to go for, antibiotics and all that. I said, no, I'm not doing it. Anything, any medicine for my body. So what I did was I just used aloe vera and pure coconut oil. And little bit
even the coconut oil.
Yeah, even the coconut oil. I was just cleaning with the turmeric every day. I just apply only the aloe vera and coconut oil. You won't believe with the 15 days, you could see the new skin comes up.
Oh my God.
Has grown up. I would have helped with the breathing and these kind of natural treatments. I was feeling like, a little bit inside. Oh, I would have known it, at least help you with the good food and at the same time, how to get treated. Not that completely you stop the allopathy, but along with the allopathy with the natural treatments, it's a very soothing aloe vera for any kind of a cuts, any kind of a burning sensation. Aloe vera can do to our body. And it's not painful. That's the best for the natural treatments. And holding breath also with the pranayama, you can hold longer if you practice well, but not
seriously. Yeah. For the breast, you have to hold your breath. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have
Yeah.
helped a lot. But it's okay.
Definitely.
Now at least we can work together. I wanted to make it little bit lighter in the conversation. It's a very heavy conversation, and I want to talk about your travel experiences. Can you just briefly tell us your most memorable continents you have visited and travel experiences? Three of them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Antarctica definitely, is at the top of my list, right? It's like the most wondrous nature I've ever seen, right? So Antarctica was just amazing, amazing because they want to keep it pristine, right? So you see nature at its best. I mean, whether you see the giant ice shelves or, you see, we went and visited colonies of three types of penguins, the Gentoo or the chinstrap penguins. You see them in their habitats. They were nesting at that time, so it was very special to see the eggs and all that. And then we I remember one thing when we saw glaciers, but the iceberg shapes were just beautiful and glowing blue color and whatnot. It was just too beautiful, and sometimes the water was just reflect. But I remember one scene where I felt like, am I in a big dome, like enjoying a nature show, because that's what the sky looked like. And then the birds over there, when they're chirping, it is so musical. I mean, it's just too beautiful. They're very bright colored, and you're seeing a beautiful looking glacier with shades of white and blue, and then you're just seeing the sky and hearing the birds. And to me, New Zealand was another amazing place to visit. I mean, the thing is, it's for everything, whether nature, oh my gosh. Even now, I think to myself, such greenery, that I've seen dense, and they say no snakes, right? So that's alluring to me. One thing was amazing. My hair is usually very frizzy and curly. And I went to this place called Queenstown, which is the sports capital of New Zealand, and they have a Glacier Lake. And but anyway, the air is so pure over there. My hair became silky over there. I couldn't believe it. I never experienced that in my life. I'm like, I didn't realize nature can have an impact on your hair, because my food, people are just too nice, and nature and that amazing Glacier Lake in Queenstown, because I went for a boat ride and the water felt like, I'm like, I can actually drink this, That's how beautiful. I mean, it just felt so pure. So that Greece stood out to me for the history, right? It's like 2000 plus years. And I mean, I must say, that's just amazing, mind blowing, right? When you see in person, whether the temples in Egypt or, in Greece, in Greece, pretty much you see, even there, some temples, you have to climb up a hill to see Acropolis, and it was just unbelievable.
You feel like you're dreaming. Yeah, I when I visited both the countries, I felt like I was just daydreaming. It's not true at all.
Yeah.
Massive structures, massive, and
and Santorini is a must in Greece, because that's the one that's a caldera, they call it. It's a volcano that burst out there, and so it's very beautiful. Like our place we stayed in Santorini, it was built in a cave, so there are a lot of cave homes, over there. So we had sunset viewing right next to where I was staying, and me and my cousin and friend. And that was just out of the world, because you're seeing people at different levels. You see the cliffs, and people, there are homes within the cliffs.
Yes.
And it was amazing watching all of them watch the sunset. So those are really my highlights. I mean, in Egypt, the biggest highlight was, I didn't expect that they'll take us inside the pyramid. I thought you only watch it from the outside, but we went inside.
Yeah, my philosophy is always, now I strongly believe in prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
We can prevent. Through your journey, what I could sense out of it, eating good food with balanced diet, protein, carbs, leafy vegetables, nuts, everything, fruits, so everything balanced, diet, at the same time good exercise, physical body, physically fit, at the same time emotionally fit, and good food. These three combinations would prevent anyone from having cancer or any kind of disease. I strongly believe in. So what is your take on that?
Yes, I believe in that too. I recommend to any women out there, knowing the stats are 1 in 8 women get cancer, you have to be very preventative, right? So if you have dense breasts, if you didn't have kids, which is my situation, two major risk factors, then there's a very high chance you will get breast cancer. You can beat the odds of 1 in 8 women, right? But at the same time, you can do your best to live a very healthy life, right? And so they say you have to do at least 5 days of exercise, right? Um, so not just walking. I mean, walking is good, but I'm also doing with weights or HIIT, right? The high intensity. I do some bouts of that. I mean, half the time walking and half the time with weights and all. You're supposed to do that. So that's one thing. I never used to like exercise, and now I'm doing 5 days a week. It's my medicine. Tamoxifen is not enough, right? And regarding food, on a permanent basis, in the morning I'm eating oatmeal with chia seeds and nuts and berries, right? So for me, the only bad part of all of this is I love yogurt, but because it's dairy and mine is hormone cancer. So because of that, I'm supposed to avoid animal products. I have to limit the amount of eggs I eat or dairy. So because of that, regretfully, I have cut down the amount of yogurt I eat, right? My nutritionist was very strict about that, right? I cut down my sugar. I used to eat a lot of sweets. I still eat now, but I cut down by 50 to 60% of the sweets I eat, and I want to get to a better ratio. Ideally, it should be I should be cutting down 90% of sweets, So I'm trying to get there. And, and then I'm trying to see, I'm not eating out. I haven't been going to fast foods as much. It's an indulgence more than anything else. I'm very careful not to just eat out. I take my lunch to work, I don't go out all the time because it's more processed food if you go out. I try to eat homemade food, right? I can control what goes into the food.
What I've been talking to people, a lot of people cut down the sugar, because sugar you can eat, but the problem is it's a lot of adulteration in the sugar itself. So that's where we are into problems. Even when you talk about cakes, when you talk about any kind of a sweets where you can get inside, it's all adulteration. Only 10% of it is in pure form. 90% of it, it's all adulteration. So that's where we are getting into all these issues, processed and packaged food.
Yeah, I heard it's the white sugar is refined.
Yes.
So it can be very dangerous.
Yes.
That's why I'm still working on that. I mean, it's difficult.
Yes.
Like I took on a job where it's 60 hours a week, including travel, about 65 a week, And I've been feeling really hungry, and I've been talking to myself for the past 1 month that because I found myself eating a candy bar a day, and I said I shouldn't be doing that. I keep telling myself, but I have to do something about that.
Yeah, I think we can try to replace with the fruits as a snack. If you can make it a habit, then you won't be craving that one. If you're working long hours, you want it to feed your mind, feed your stomach. So
Yeah,
they,
I do feel very hungry, get the cravings. But I drink lots of water though.
mm,
That I'm not sacrificing. I
mm,
drink tons of water.
mm,
So I think that's also very helpful. Have
yeah,
to drink water,
yeah.
you know.
Hydrating and snacking a fruit, snacking nuts rather than snacking junk food. I think that will help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, once I made the natural nut butter, I got the mixed nuts from Costco
Mm.
and I blended it myself. It came out very tasty and I'm planning on making that again.
Yeah, I
Then I
make.
can take it to work. Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. It's
the
easy to
audience.
make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I make peanut butter at home, so it came out awesome.
Yeah, mine also came out very yummy, you
Yeah,
know. I bought the mixed nuts. So there's macadamia in it, Brazil nuts, and everything mixed in there. It tasted very good.
that's the best protein.
Yeah. Yeah. The other important thing I would say is sleep. So back in the day, I would stay up till 1 o'clock, no problem, read my cell phone, news, watch YouTube and all. But I also learned the importance of sleep in preventing cancer. So I have been trying to put myself to bed by 10:30, and I mean between 10:30 and 11, I'm in bed, and I don't even read my cell phone. I don't try to read the news or Instagram or Facebook or anything. I just put myself to bed and I get up at 6 o'clock. So I'm trying to maintain that. I do see the value of getting enough sleep.
Sleep heals our body, so that is what we are ignoring. Natural, it's free. Whatever is natural and free and simple, we ignore. We are going for expensive treatments and not natural things. That's what we are attracted. Which we all need to learn. Go for simple things and natural and self healing techniques. Yeah, that's a very good advice, Mamata. What's the message for people who are already going through this kind of a journey?
I mean, the message is, don't let cancer beat you, right? So just implement your risk controls, right? Understand what your risk factors are. For breast cancer, this is what I felt, right? I mean, and if you're a woman, for preventative, oh, you're saying already going through journey. But I'm saying if you have dense breasts and had kids after the age of 35, don't skip your mammograms. I'll say, you have to go, or even childless, right? You cannot afford to skip your mammograms, and I have been notorious with skipping mammograms. But women going through journey, if you ask me, if I was able to joke around with everyone throughout my entire cancer days, it's because I opened.
Hmm.
So I got tons of support and I embraced it completely. I mean, my cousins came like a week or two after my radiation ended, and we had like a big blast. I mean, my brother hosted a huge breakfast, and oh, it is so memorable even now. The things we did during that visit. And to me, life should carry on. I never feel you should never let cancer beat you. You do what you can to live your life. And the way you can live it is, I feel personally, bring some joy into your life by interacting with others, right? And I never felt so loved. I mean, I think I knew that my relatives loved me and all, but I really felt the love, during my cancer
Okay, just
days.
flowed in.
Yeah. And I cruised along, the whole journey. They were all tough, a lot of tough decisions, but I would say I cruised, thanks to the support network and preparing for nutrition and preparing for exercise and being educated on every step I have to take. You know, I would always come up with a plan myself. I mean, a treatment plan. I wrote it myself, right? Even if doctor and patient navigator can say a few things, but again, you don't have much time.
Yes.
I spend a lot of hours just writing for myself what I'm going to do, how am I going to prepare. So you got to be disciplined too, if you ask me.
Yes.
Be disciplined, and that's where you get your calmness. Make the uncertainties, make the unknowns known things for you. right? If you don't take the time to talk to people and write down for yourself, then the fear, it becomes a fear of the unknown that stays with, lingers, throughout the journey. If you want the fear to go away, then make your unknowns the knowns.
Yes.
And you can only do that by talking to others
Yeah.
and reading, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mamata. Thanks a lot for.
Yeah.
I know. I was even thinking, is it a good thing to ask her to do a podcast on cancer journey? It's a very sensitive, and it will be even little bit emotional too. But you're a close friend of mine. You can say yes or no. So you're open to. I thought, let me just try it because it will help other people who are going through the same journey, or prevention measures we can take by listening to your story. So I hope our audience will understand and how to go through the journey, how to make it happen till the end of the journey. It's so smoothly, and how we can interact with others and take care of our own health. I think I wanted to conclude on this podcast. If we can prevent by eating balanced food, I wanted to really stress it upon balanced food and not depending on too much junk food. So reduce junk food and eat natural and fresh food, not processed and packaged. Physically fit, mentally fit, and be active throughout the life. So that is the best medicine we all can have. That is the best.
And have faith and appreciation, right? So you look at this. Oops, you see that card over there? That's my mom's. Every year she gives it on my birthday, and I keep it there. That's my source of strength. So when cancer hit me, the most important thing that I didn't mention, which I should have mentioned, she was the one that prepared my oatmeal, my green juices. Oh, I also
attention to it, natural food than packaged processed food.
Yes, and but one has to have faith in someone.
Yes,
that also matters a lot. Not just your general network, but my mom was my source of strength. She came with me to all my radiation appointments, even though she's so old. She came, and sat through all of it, and provided me the best of healthy food consistently. Like, she stopped even feeling old at that point. She was acting like a 60-year-old woman. Thank
you, Mamata. Namaste. Thanks for everything. It will help. I'm sure a lot of people will get benefit out of this podcast. Yes, if you like.
And thank you, Bhavani, for making it comfortable for me. If not for your sensitivity, I don't think I would have opened up that much, in a public forum. So I'm doing it because you made me feel comfortable. You were very sensitive about my comfort. So that's why I was willing to let it, be on YouTube. Yeah. Or on your Facebook. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's because I wanted to bring it for people to be more helpful with our own journey. If it's helpful for other people, then we should bring it out and help. That's what my main thought was before asking. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe it so that you can get more motivational videos I would like to bring it upon.